prosecutions of all four officers involved in the death of George Floyd is that there are now two autopsies regarding what killed him. One conducted by an independent party determined that Floyd died of asphyxiation. In other words, from having his throat crushed by the officer's knee. The other was conducted by the Hennepin County medical examiner. And they say it was a result of being restrained. This, as the country is dealing with the actions and inaction, both of which have been found intolerable. These cases all will run through the Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison. He is a longtime government worker. He was a congressman. He is a social activist. And now he is in the pole position of handling the administration of justice in this matter with national implications. And he joins us now. Mr. Attorney General, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve. And I know that this is the kind of position that you take very seriously and that those who know you would say you've prepared a lifetime for. Let's start national and then get to your responsibility locally. The president tonight, no mention of what the protests around this country are about. No mention of any problem with policing ever. No mention of any problems faced by minority communities in this country. He said that those who are doing anything other than peaceful protesting must be dominated, and that he will use the military, and that governors must crush this movement, otherwise it will grow. What does that mean to you as somebody who is in charge with keeping law and order, administration of justice in the focus state in the country right now?
You know, the attitude where you want to dominate someone is exactly what I believe is at the heart of so much of the problems between police and community. That's really what is driving this conversation, a spirit of wanting to dominate someone. It's not helpful. It has gotten us into the problem that we're in now. And it would be my hope that the president would just stop it and not really comment unless he can comment in a constructive way.
What would be your advice, Mr. Attorney General, if he were to reach out to your state, depending on your reading of the Insurrection Act of 1807, used very rarely, as you know, I don't have to tell you, was used after Rodney King, though, with the riots in L.A. Do you think your state would accept that kind of help from the federal government? Would they want the military present?
You know, I would not offer a comment on that unless I talk to our governor, who is, doing, I think, an excellent job in trying to exercise restraint and restore public order. It's a very delicate balance, as you know, and it's not easy. He thinks it's easy because he's never actually had to do it, and he's never taken responsibility for his consequences of his actions. But our governor is doing that. I'm working closely with him to try to do all we can to restore public order and make sure we preserve people's First Amendment right to grieve and to raise their voices about what is clearly a historic and widespread problem, which is excessive force by police.
Do you believe that the people from the communities who are protesting are getting a little bit of a bad name for some of the violence and the looting and the destructiveness that is going on in some of these situations that is actually perpetrated or fomented by outside groups?
Well, I can assure you that the overwhelming number of people absolutely are there to raise the noble cause of liberty and justice for all, respect by law enforcement for all, racial justice and equality. That's why folks are out there, and they're a multiracial, multi-ethnic group. Now, I have seen evidence of people who don't seem to have any connection with the protest. They're not wearing T-shirts, they're not wearing flags, they don't have chants that they're using, and they're going out between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning and they're committing acts of arson and vandalism. Now, that is happening. Some of the protesters have actually confronted them and photographed them doing it, and it's available. And I think that these folks are doing this to tarnish the reputation and the image of the protests. And I think that they want to create in the public mind the idea that this is all a bunch of bad folks, but it's not true. The people who are raising their voices are trying to make this a better country. And I would just urge them to protect their protests. Take pictures of people who are doing things that are going to divert the protests from its real and legitimate and true aim.
The president is going out of his way to make a point that these are left-wing organizations. The play for him is clear. He says, I don't see any right-wing organizations. He's basically ascribing ownership of fringe political movements to the Democrats and Republican Party and saying, in this case, it's all your team, Mr. Attorney General. These are Democrat-affiliated groups doing all this destruction because you want to destroy America.
There's no factual basis to that. That is a political comment. It's not a factual comment, certainly not based on any investigation I've seen.
All right, now to the investigations that you are looking at right now. A big part of the frustration was the time between what was seen and evident as, textbook probable cause in the videotape of the alleged murder and apparent murder of George Floyd, but no arrest. And as you know, the communities that you're responsible for are filled with young black men who've been arrested on probable cause when there were no charges anywhere near ready to be filed, but not with these officers. That is now an outstanding question with the other three officers. Do you expect them to be at least arrested on probable cause?
Well, let me tell you this. I got this case last night, right about this time. I've spent the last 24 hours reviewing evidence in this matter, which I cannot ethically comment on as a prosecutor. And I can assure you, we are taking a fresh look, and we plan to hold everyone accountable who is legally culpable. And that is what we're going to do. I am committed to equal justice for all, no special treatment for any, without fear or favor. That's what I have to do as a prosecutor. And so while I'm not ready to announce anything on the show tonight, Chris, I want to assure everybody that we are looking very carefully at holding everybody accountable who failed to do their duty and fell below the legal requirements of their position or did something affirmatively that would be in violation of the law. Already these people have been fired. I know that is not enough to restore faith, but what we're doing is looking at the charges, looking at the behavior, and when we are ready, and that won't be long from now, we plan on taking the proper and deliberate action.
The community, and really, not to make it too heavy for you, Keith, but the country is waiting to see what happens, and more importantly, how it is explained. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison will be watching. You always have this show as a platform to make your case to the American people.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, God bless, and good luck going forward.
You too, sir.
All right.